Welcome back. My next guests have put together a wonderful collection of memorabilia from the 60s. And one of the guests is indeed, I think, perhaps one of the leading lights of memorabilia from the 60s. She was certainly huge in recording and cabaret and rock concerts right around Australia. Please welcome Brendan Pearce and Lynne Randell. Welcome to the show to both of you. I believe you were raging on last night with Molly. Is that true?
Oh, word's out, is it?
Word is out, Lynn.
Yes, just a little.
It was the official launch of the new show.
Of the new Countdown show, yes.
Good luck to Molly and to everyone concerned with it. Now, memorabilia from the 60s, for all of us who remember the 60s, this should be a lot of fun. You were such an important part of the 60s. Brendan, where do you fit into the picture, if I may ask?
I've just been collecting since I was about 11 years of age.
So you're the main collector of the stuff we're going to see?
Main collector, yeah.
How old are you now, Brendan?
25.
Oh, well, the 60s would have been a very important era for you, wouldn't they?
Well, I was born in 63.
Exactly, because, and you always want to go back to your childhood years. A lot of the stuff that you're collecting, you wouldn't have known first time around. Have you come across any surprises?
Yeah, I've come across quite a few surprises. Probably the best thing about the collecting is that I've met people like Lynn, Jim Keys, etc., etc. That's what I've got the biggest kick out of, meeting the people.
In his cupboard, you see.
Does he?
Yes.
If not you personally, the stuff that you used to do back in the 60s. Let's have a look at some of the gear, please, Brendan.
Okay, well, look, we'll start off, that's a bit of a surprise for later. We'll start off with, we've got advertising. That's an original Coke bottle from the 60s.
Is there all that much difference?
Yeah, you don't get it's fluid ounces.
There is to collectors.
Yeah.
There is to collectors, and there's a 7-Up bottle from 1967.
Oh, yes. And actually, back in the 40s and 50s, I believe, 7-Up used to be called 7X. Did you know that?
That's right.
Yeah, 7.
That's right.
Thought I'd just pass it on again. Okay. I'm going to shut my mouth and you can show me what you've got there.
No. Okay, that's the original Coke can, which is the diamond shape.
Yes.
Then they went on to that, which they're fluid ounces and they're actually tin cans. And there's just an example. That's the cans we've got today. It's just to show you the...
So we thought this was just dirty old rubbish.
Yeah.
But it's very important stuff to
Very important stuff. Yep, okay.
Yeah,
So
and,
you can't squeeze that one unless you're terribly strong.
And there's an old Fanta can.
Oh, dear me, that brings back... Look at that, the old Fanta. Remember that? Used to loathe it. Okay.
Okay, we'll move right along. Now,
Yep.
Lynn will have a special fondness for the monkeys.
The monkeys, yes.
Lynn actually went over to America with the monkeys.
Were they nice people, Lynn, the monkeys?
Very nice.
Nice
Very
boys?
nice.
Who was the nicest? Mickey Dolenz?
No, Peter Talk.
Peter Talk, was he? Who was the most talented?
Time out.
Pass.
Yeah, okay, right, fair enough.
Yeah, there's going to be quite a bit of monkeys
So
memorabilia.
that's worth $600.
You're joking. Isn't it $600?
car, yeah.
See the monkeys there?
So if we get a good enough bid, God knows what I'll go
And then
Exactly, that's
I'll
right.
hand you a $500 guitar. And the monkeys continue with... They did it... It was very similar to the Beatles. They had...
I wish we had this a couple of weeks ago when we were doing the Salvos Day. We could have frightened the heck out of the girls and thrown that in, couldn't we? That's a beauty. How much will that go for, do you reckon, Brendan?
That's worth about $200.
$200. When's the auction again? On Sunday, is it?
It's this Sunday. There's an auction and there's also 40 stalls full of 60s memorabilia. I'll hand this to you. This is...
And where's the auction?
Mowbray Street, St Kilda at Ormond Hall, which was actually a dance in the 60s called Opus Uptown.
Look at that, for all Beatles fans. What'll that go for, do you reckon?
That piece there will go for about $150.
Will it really? How much originally? I suppose you would have gotten it for, what, $2 or something?
Yeah, it was sort of like 3 and 6 in the 60s, you know, a foot a yard or whatever it was back then.
Years ago, Carlton United Breweries put out a special run of cans of beer with my face on it. Did 100 dozen. It was for my, I think, 25 years at the Nine Network. And they're now, those cans are now worth about $100, $150.
That's right.
Filled. And friends of mine whom I gave some cans to wrote back and said, thanks for the beer, it was delicious.
Through the cans?
Yeah, and also, I mean, drank the stuff. What's this?
That's John Farnham's cousin Johnny.
This is what, his first album?
That's his first album, yes.
Look at Johnny Farnham there. How much will that go for?
Well, that'll go for about $25. It's fairly common, because there was a lot of them sold.
Oh, I'd like to talk business with you after the show then, if I may.
You
$25?
sure can. $25 worth.
OK. How would you fancy giving me this and you can come back on the show Monday? We'll talk about that later.
This is an unusual item.
Yep.
That's Joey D.
Yes.
Teaches you the peppermint twist, and it's actually got a book in it. with all the dance steps. And if you go to the very last page, it was sponsored by Vaseline Hair Tonic, which I think is
Vaseline. Remember that Vaseline hair tonic? You'd put it on. It was like you'd whack it all on. You'd go out on your first date. You get terribly excited, and all of a sudden you'd find you'd have an oil slick right across your forehead. And remember California Poppy and Texan with a big tech? No, you wouldn't have.
No, I wouldn't. That's a magazine called Albert Sebastian, and if you turn it around on the back page, we've got Lynn sitting with all the 3AK.
DJs.
Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
Grantley D, Johnny
Yeah.
Chester,
Yeah.
Stan Rofe, Don Lunn.
Don Lunn. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah. Stan Rofe and Bobby Horsford. Yeah, terrific.
Now,
Great.
this is an album that's just come out today because these guys are going to be here on at Ormond Hall on Sunday actually signing this album. It's the group.
Right.
Ronnie Charles and Richard Wright will be down there
Terrific.
autographing the copies of that.
2 more, if we may, please.
2 more, sure.
It's endless.
Something,
Yes, it is
something
indeed.
you'd be very fond of. TV Week.
TV
when it was,
Week. Look at that.
And that's Dinah Lee.
Oh, that's Dinah Lee on the cover.
Yes, it
Goodness
is.
gracious. It's on. Bert Shock. Let's have a look and see what was happening back in those years. Look at Graham. Graham and Ray Taylor. The Battle of the Giants. How much will this go for?
Well, depending on who's on the cover, they can go from anywhere from $5 to $25.
On behalf of Dulcie, I'll buy that for $25, okay? Yeah.
And then to top it off, that is a Beetle doll. That's
Yeah.
one of the Remco series.
It's like Marty Rose, isn't it? Yeah. Okay.
That's worth about $150 too.
Just marginally larger. Okay. What's your last one?
Now, just before we finish off,
Yes.
we've got a bit of a surprise for you, actually.
Have you? A little present.
Yes, can you see if you remember this voice?
It's not.
My darling daughter, I tiptoed into your room tonight, and I looked down at you, smiling in your sleep. You looked so lovely, my heart nearly broke. And I thought, how very much like a sleeping beauty a little girl is.
Thank you for that. That's to a sleeping beauty, isn't it? Goodness gracious.
That record is for you to keep.
Is this for me to keep?
That's
oh, that's lovely. I wonder where the other copy went. To a sleeping beauty and the white magnet. Wouldn't I like to look like that again? But what about the voice? No wonder people back in those years thought I was gay. Oh, my darling daughter, I walked into your room last night and saw you lying there and thought to myself, how much like a sleeping beauty a little girl is. And that was Laurie Wilson on the organ, by the way. It was the best thing on the record.
I believe that record went tin in Dubbo, so...
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. That's a nice line. I might use it one day. OK, good on you, mate. And that is for me to keep, is it?
You can have that,
I
yes.
appreciate that, Brendan. And good. And by the way, you'll come back and sing for us on the show, won't you, today?
Well, if you could wear that, I'll come back and sing.
OK, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Brendan. And good luck with the auction on Sunday.